couple minutes in. So thank you for everybody who is joining. My name is Alicia McConkey, and I am the program manager for Great Minds in STEM. And today I'm going to be presenting to you MentorNet, especially how it benefits students and what you as a student can get out of signing up for this wonderful resource. So we'll just be going over who MentorNet is, how does it work, what are the benefits that you receive from using MentorNet, how can you as a student use MentorNet, and then of course we'll be going over a very quick testimonial from a previous MentorNet mentee. So about MentorNet, it was founded in 1997 and became a part of Great Minds in STEM in the year 2014. MentorNet's objective is to support the persistence, retention, and advancement of STEM students through their education and career development through guided mentorships. And I think that's a very important aspect that MentorNet has. Numerous studies have shown that the benefits of mentoring throughout all phases of an individual's life, through their career, from finishing their school to improving yourself as a leader, every element can all be benefited by having a mentor, somebody who can help guide you through those processes. A big element, though, is that it can be very difficult to find a mentor for individuals who don't really have access to professional networks. That's also something that can be kind of nerve-wracking to be able to get into those networking situations. So MentorNet really helps break that barrier of entry that can be there either physically, you're unable to go physically meet people, or even emotionally, mentally, where you kind of keep psyching yourself out from being able to go to those networking opportunities should they present themselves to you. And so MentorNet provides students access to a pool of STEM professionals who volunteer their time to assist students in achieving their goals and their dreams. So how does MentorNet work? So what we do is we gather STEM students as mentees, and these can be from various areas. If you are an individual student who wishes to sign up, you just go on to program.mentornet.org and you sign up there. Or if you are part of a cohort, a group of students, you might be participating in some scholarships, right? So we have scholarship recipients who usually join. Right, that are able to then get into this mentoring network. That is also one way we can do it. Another way that we receive mentors, right, is they usually sign up on their own. And these mentors can come from all walks of life. We have everything from chemists, engineers, employee resource groups, healthcare communities, and just scientists of all types, who will then either sign up onto MentorNet on an individual volunteer basis, or you can also have companies that will set up their own communities and their employees will then be mentors. And then either they do outreach for students to be mentees, or they already have their own select group of students that sign up. And so we have our MentorNet cycle, and we want to make sure that we say this is a cycle because that's what really helps the world, the STEM community, especially among underrepresented and underserved minority groups. That's how we help keep the STEM community flowing and growing and improving. So first, STEM students and professionals will create a profile on MentorNet. That's pretty typical standard procedure. Students will then have the access to choose from 9 professionals based on our matching algorithm. And our matching algorithm is not unlike a dating website, as I'm sure several of you kind of understand and know about. You fill out your profile, the professional fills out their profile, and then based on how you fill out those the profile information, our algorithm will then choose which professionals best meet your goals and your needs, again, based on how you fill out your profile information. So this increases the opportunity to have a lasting and fulfilling, fruitful mentoring relationship. So after you receive your 9 professionals based on what the matching algorithm deems appropriate, the student then gets to pick out of those 9 professionals and send an invite to them, just letting them know, hey, I'm interested in being your mentee and learning from you. The professional can accept or deny the invitation But we find that a lot of the time, professionals accept. A lot of these professionals are out here and they're wanting to assist, to give back to their community, find up and coming mentees to either help them improve, or we even have a couple stories of people receiving job offers because their relationship with their mentor worked out so well. So professional will then accept the invite, and then the mentoring relationship begins. Both the mentor and the mentee will receive weekly topics that are sent to their emails to help guide their discussions. We'll go more in detail on this later. Mentee then utilizes MentorNet and the relationship to their mentor to become a STEM professional themselves. By having this guidance, as we've already said, studies have shown that having a mentor is a huge benefit in anybody, not just in STEM fields, achieve their goals and their dreams. So the idea is that you as a student and as a mentee, you finish your schooling, you work with your mentor who can last even after your MentorNet experience. And from there, you then become from a student to professional, and from a mentee to a mentor, help pass it along. And then from there, we go through the same process. A STEM student then signs up. And then if you are a good fit, you are one of the 9 professionals that the student receives. And then, of course, if the student's like, yep, you are the correct mentor, you are then sent an invitation. So again, we call that our mentoring cycle. So our MentorNet curriculum, we have a few different areas that we cover. One is academics, right? And so these are the kinds of topics that you will be emailed, you and your mentor will be emailed. And this will help cover things such as just general advice, time management, study tips, grades, so on and so forth. We also cover sociocognitive and experiential and cultural experiences. So this covers everything from your cultural identity, your gender identity, your ability to manage being in a separate culture than maybe the majority of your classmates. That is a big challenge that a lot of students face. And then we also have everything regarding professional development. What's happening in your chosen industry on the professional side of things, right? For any CS degrees, I'm sure you're all kind of aware of what's happening in the tech field right now, right? So, maybe having a mentor, if you think of being in that area, having a mentor who is part of that field could be a good insight as to what it is you need to focus on, right? So we want to make sure we have that industry awareness, and then everything simple from helping boost your resume, getting internships, managing your online identity. That's huge. Who are you on social media? And does that portray who a company would be looking to hire, as well as helping you with your networking and your interviews? I do want to specify that these are recommendations, right? So if you have something that's for time management, you as the mentee will be encouraged to ask your mentor how they do their time management, and the mentor will be receiving something similar, but encouraging them to share what it is that they do for their time management, right? So it's not like this is not a be all end all conversation. We have found that these conversations are super beneficial because they do cover a lot of challenges that students face, and that maybe you don't necessarily know how to breach that question. You don't really know how to get to that conversation. So that's what these are here for. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to discuss these things. Let's say you already have a pretty good setup with time management. Maybe you're using apps like Todoist or Notion or something like that, right? To really help you manage your own time. So you're feeling pretty okay. But maybe you're having more specific issues that you want to cover and that you want to get assistance with. That's perfectly okay too. Again, MentorNet is to help breach that barrier, right? To get to find yourself a mentor, find yourself a professional that you can talk to. And then as well as a curriculum of topics to help, again, break the ice, get you comfortable to talking with your mentor on a weekly basis, even if you don't really have anything that you have challenges with. I guarantee after talking with the mentor, you're going to find out you have challenges, whether it's from the MentorNet curriculum or it's from just discussing and learning about yourself. So now, who benefits from MentorNet? Everybody benefits from MentorNet. everybody benefits from mentoring, not just as a mentee, but also the mentors. The mentors really get a lot out of having a mentee. And so really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and leave a page of quotes here from a lot of very big name people who have been mentors themselves, right? Michelle Obama, our wonderful previous first lady, as a lawyer, she was mentoring and working with kids, and she gained a level of groundedness that I just couldn't get from sitting on the 47th floor of a fancy firm. Selfishly, it gives me joy. It makes me feel like my life has a purpose. And I think that's really strong because, in her mind, she's giving so much of herself, and yet she feels like this is a selfish endeavor to give so much. So I hope that as a student, you don't feel like asking somebody to be a mentor or having a mentor is going to be anything that will be a burden. You're not going to be a burden. If you have a mentor who wants to be a mentor, there's no way you requesting their assistance, having a discussion with them could ever make them feel like you're a burden. As long as you're being obviously respectful, fruitful, and you understand that this is a give and take relationship. It's rare that I ever hear of any of our mentors saying that they don't like mentoring. Like if they don't like mentoring, they're not going to sign up. So this is just for your peace of mind. The mentors who are signed up on the MentorNet platform want to be your mentor. And then for students, right? How can you utilize MentorNet? I'm going to be kind of repeating myself a little bit, but MentorNet really helps break that barrier and enables all STEM students access to connect and build meaningful relationships with STEM professionals. Having a mentor is huge. Even I have a mentor. Just to help me just in general, right? With everything from managing my time to my leadership. And I have found that it has really helped me personally become better and be more aware of what it is that I'm doing and who I am growing, not just as a professional, but also personally, right? What am I doing to help better myself? So we have some wonderful quotes again from Oprah Winfrey: a mentor is somebody who allows you to see the hope inside of yourself. John Wooden: everything we know, we learned from someone else. So even our mentors had mentors previously. Again, we have our mentoring cycle. And then Phil Collins: in learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. I had this in both our mentor deck and our mentee slide because I think that's huge because, again, mentoring is a give and take relationship. And so I want to make sure that you understand how beneficial it can be for both parties to be in a mentoring relationship. So again, we're going back to your student benefits. The great thing about MentorNet is we can work with all different sorts of programs, right? So we work with scholarship applications, whether you're applying with Great Minds in STEM and our scholarship programs, or if you have somewhere else where you're applying for scholarships, or even our career fair, right? We have a career fair every year at our conference. And so we frequently will have something available for students prior to the career fair and our conference, but there's career fairs that happen all the time. And so the great thing with MentorNet is we can absolutely work with all of these programs. You will be able to get mentoring on all of these elements because we can almost guarantee that the mentors you are going to be connecting with have already gone through so many of these challenges, be it from applying for financial aid, which can be fairly daunting, but there's a process to it, to managing your family and school. Maybe you're not a freshman in college at 18, maybe you're a freshman in college at 25, 35, 45. There is no limit to what challenges you could be facing at what age that you're going to be joining at. And I can again guarantee that mentors that are signing up have experienced all of these. Like these are not limited to just challenges that you'll be facing. Other people have faced it too, and they've already had the experience in order to help you get through these challenges far faster and easier than if you were to try and go through these challenges yourself. So there's definitely a very symbiotic relationship with MentorNet, as well as, again, not just the Great Minds in STEM programs, which we have a few of them here that are for college students, but also any other programs that you may find with any of our sister organizations or through your college or university. So that's a bit about MentorNet in itself. We did have a wonderful partnership opportunity with the National Hispanic Medical Association. And this was a study on the benefits of mentoring, more specifically to the Latin community within medical fields, medical schooling. So NHMA is dedicated to empowering Hispanic physicians to be leaders who will help eliminate health disparities and improve the health of Hispanics. NHMA utilized the MentorNet platform to connect 250 plus students a year with medical professionals. And the program lasted for 5 years, and students were matched with the same professional as available during their time in the program. So it was important to try and maintain a long-term mentoring relationship. Students did keep journals and had regular check-ins with NHMA and their mentors. And MentorNet topics, as I had mentioned, we do send discussion topics. They were sent every 2 weeks to matches. And of course, these topics were custom designed and chosen by NHMA to fit their research needs. However, they did use several of the MentorNet topics that are available. So findings were, I think, amazing and are in line with a lot of what other mentoring research has shown. We have our intervention group, which is I, and our control group, which is labeled as C. Postgraduates accepted and enrolled in postgraduate studies. We have our intervention group, which is our group that did have mentors. 56% were enrolled in postgraduate studies compared to 33% within the control group. And then same thing with other science courses completed with a passing grade. That intervention is 37 compared to a 23%. So you can see that that's a pretty big difference in students. We did find that 93% of students liked their mentors and felt that they were a good match. 89% of students believe that their mentors were an important part of the academic and professional support networks. 89% of students believe that their mentors had provided them with useful resources to succeed academically and or professionally. And 83% of students are more interested in becoming a healthcare professional after completing the program. This just goes along with a lot of the information out there, which is, it's easier to feel like you want to be a part of something when you're already kind of in that something, right? If you have a professional mentor that's already within that group that you want to be in, I mean, it's far easier to feel like you're connected to that group if you're talking with somebody in that group, right? It's no different than if you know that you have a really great friend group within your classmates, right? That you're all learning the same thing. It's super beneficial. It, brings in that sense of community, which is very important. And a mentor, again, not only breaks that barrier of networking and learning more about what's happening in the professional side of things, but again, you feel like you're part of a group, which is huge. You're part of a community. More than half of students indicated that NHMA mentoring significantly increased knowledge about accessing resources needed to achieve personal and professional goals, and significantly increased self-confidence. And 46% of students felt that NHMA mentoring significantly increased their awareness of financing post-college education. Again, you have somebody that has already been through that process. If you're looking for your PhD, you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? I guarantee that you already have a mentor on there who is currently a PhD and went through the same challenges you did. And they will absolutely be able to help you go through and manage your time and those challenges. Again, far better and far easier than if you were to try and pick up and solve these challenges yourself. Now, this is a MentorNet mentee. She was not part of the NHMA program. However, she was part of our one of our earlier programs that we did during the height of the pandemic. And she has a wonderful testimonial. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you hear through her words.
Having a mentor has truly boosted my academic goals because prior to joining the MentorNet program, I had constantly struggled with the question if I was good enough in the field of computer science. There's so many times I contemplated about switching my majors until I was paired with my mentor, Desira. She's awesome. Every time we spoke, I saw more and more of myself in her. She reminded me how she had same struggles when she was a computer science student. And over the past few months, I've been able to put her advices into practice, and it is the only reason I still sit here as a computer science major. And my advice to anybody out there who might be going through what I went through is that consider joining the MentorNet program and thank me later.
That's such a great video.
Having a
because it, I mean, it's, everybody has that, you know, you have your imposter syndrome, you have your doubts and your questions. And sometimes it's just because you don't know anybody within that community. And maybe you just don't have the support group you have at home, or you need to have at home. So, right. So having a mentor is super beneficial. So next steps. Fortunately, this is a resource that is available for you. And it requires really no effort except to just create an account and get started. So on my apologies, not as a mentor. If you're interested in being a mentee, please go ahead and register at program.mentornet.org. It's a pretty quick and painless sign up process. And I encourage you to do so. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to go ahead and email me directly. My email is mcconkey, McConkey at greatmindsinstem.org. I thank you all very much for joining me today. And there is definitely some time if anybody has any additional questions that they would like to ask before we end it.